Okay, hello everyone. Yes, we are live on Facebook now. It's a good crowd. It's more than people who registered actually. Good afternoon, everyone. People from Lausanne, from Switzerland, from Europe, and good evening to people who has joined us from India. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Mukesh Chand Thakur. I'm the president of Yuva Indians Association at EPFL Lausanne. And we are here today to present our first web series episode on Indian Sanskriti, Indian culture. Usually we would have liked to do this in person, but due to unprecedented times, it's not possible. But nevertheless, it doesn't stop us from organizing our events that we want to do, and it's also good to meet in person, but it's not possible. So it's also good to meet in virtually. So it also inculcates a sense of community between all of us. Before I start, I think everyone is ready. Shreyas, am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Give me a heads up. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so before starting the event, I would like to give you a surprise that we have a very special introduction to our very first web series on the Indian cultural event. So, as I said in the email, the very special person is Her Excellency Mrs. Monia Kapil Mahota, the Ambassador of India, and we humbly requested her to give a very starting speech in order to give a push to the Happy New Year, because we had a very stressful year last time, and then this year we wanted something special to start the year with some inspirational words, and she kindly agreed to that, and then we are very, very thankful to her. And I'm going to play this video for you guys. Here it is.
Dear friends and members of Yuva Indians, virtual greetings from Bern. The city of Lausanne is not very far from where I live, but since we are in unprecedented times, we have to meet online. I hope that I will be able to meet you all in person in the near future. But meanwhile, I am glad to talk to the promising young members of the Indian diaspora who have attained higher education and who are studying in the prestigious EPFL University. The Indian embassies across the world have a special relationship with Indian diaspora students. You young students bring in ideas, energy, enthusiasm, and also support. I should mention that during the COVID-19 lockdown, the Embassy of India in Bern also relied on the network of its Indian diaspora students for delivering assistance to needy Indians stranded in Switzerland. the Indian embassies all over the world are being called home away from home. We have maintained close contact with Indian students during the lockdown period, including through the means of social media. A number of online activities were organized in which you students have very enthusiastically participated. I'm happy to note that a winning entry received from the online Independence Day celebrations last year was shot in the premises of EPFL. As young, inquisitive minds, I am certain that you would be following various developments taking place in India. India's resilience to the COVID-19 pandemic has shown us the attributes of New India. Today, India's COVID-19 cases per million and deaths per million are among the lowest in the world. From a situation of a single laboratory equipped to undertake testing for COVID-19 in January of this year, more than 2,000 laboratories are now conducting COVID-19 testing in India. The testing rate in India has also increased and has crossed 1.5 million tests a day, which is much higher than the stipulated number by the WHO. While there are no indigenous manufacturers of lab diagnostics or testing machines for COVID-19 until the beginning of the year, today India has an indigenous production capacity of more than 1 million kits per day. All of you young members of the Indian diaspora are flag bearers of India, particularly of New India. It is a new India which is confident and self-reliant. A new India which believes in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. A new India which is being celebrated as the pharmacy of the world. A new India which has assured the global community that as the largest vaccine manufacturing country, India's vaccine production and delivery capacity will be used to help all humanity in fighting the COVID-19 crisis. Let me end by congratulating Yuva Indians and its office bearers for organizing the online event, Indian Sanskriti, Indian Culture. I also look forward to meeting all of you at a later date. Stay safe, stay well, and a happy 2021 to all of you. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much for your kind and encouraging words. I should also cite that during this COVID pandemic, before lockdown in Switzerland, during lockdown in Switzerland and after lockdown was partially opened, we always had contact from the Indian embassy, and it was very good because everyone was locked in their homes, and then the only official contact we had was our Indian embassy, and they used to, I can say from myself, I got personal calls from them for all the well-beings, and it was very helpful on a personal level. And I'm sure it has helped a lot of Indian students who are away from home. And the first thing, if something goes wrong, is our Indian embassy for us. So thank you very much. So moving on, I would like Diane to take over and introduce our guest today. Diane, over to you.
Okay, so hello everyone. So I'm going to, first just say a few words about the partner association, La Route du Tchaï. So La Route du Tchaï means the Tchaï Road in French, and it's an association related to the South Asian and Slavic department of the University of Lausanne. And the association promotes cultural and artistic projects related to South Asian and Slavic studies. It also works on interdisciplinary projects and exchanges between the two fields of study. And so we have a few projects on campus, mainly for students, but also projects off campus, which aim to make the two fields of study more accessible and reach a wider audience. And so, yeah, that's why La Route du Tchaï is really happy to be able to work with Yuva on such an event today. And so now I'm going to present Sanika Kulkarni. So, first of all, we're honored to have Miss Sanika Kulkarni for our first episode of Indian Sanskriti, Indian culture. She belongs to the third generation of a musically rich family from Pune in Maharashtra, and she received her musical training from her guru and father, Pandit Rajan Kulkarni, and also later from Vidushi Veena Sahasrabuddhe, the doyen of Gwalior Gharana. And so to name a few of her achievements, so they include Yuva Gayika Award in 2020, Sur Ratna Award in 2020 as well, the CCRT scholarship by the Government of India in 2019, as well as the ITC Sangeet Research Academy scholarship, which she received from 2016-2019, and also the SPIC MACAY Award in 2019. And she also received the Sangeet visharad at the age of 17, and the Surshringar Award in 2017. So that's why we're really looking forward to listening to her today. And yeah, thanks again for being with us for this event. So now I'll pass it over to Sanika, Sagar, and Shreyas for the discussion.
Hello. So first of all, welcome to everyone for this unique event that we have organized today. One of the ideas of organizing this is that we generally listen to artists, so we see the artists doing their art, definitely, but we don't normally hear them talking about their art. So this way, through this web series, we wanted to have a kind of an introduction to a particular art form, as well as a demonstration of some of its aspects and a discussion about it, so that more people can understand and appreciate these beautiful art forms that we have in India. So once again, welcome, and we are honored to have Sanika here today. So
thank you so much.
So we can start with the event now. Let's begin with the main idea of Hindustani classical music, that what is it about, and a little bit about its history and where it came from.
So firstly, warm welcome to everyone, and thank you to all the team members for hosting me. I'm very honored to be here today. So coming back to your question, Sagar, that is history and the development of Hindustani classical music, and what is the today's scenario as well. So around the 12th of century, Hindustani classical music was identified, as per the history says. So Indian classical music emphasized more on improvisations and exploring all the aspects of ragas. So in medieval times, melodic system were fused with Persian music, mostly through the influence of Sufi singers. So we know ustads like Amir Khusro, and later it was taken to the Mughal courts. So after 16th of century, singing styles were like more diversified into different gharanas patronized in Mughal courts with different kinds of princely courts. So after that, around the 19th century, Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar and Vishnu Narayan Bhatkandeji, who these two legends consolidated the musical structure of Hindustani classical music, and till date it's updating day by day and year by year. And all the students of Hindustani classical music are pursuing it and doing more of research and putting more efforts to take it to the global level.
Okay, wonderful, beautiful. So I think one other aspect is that when we say that it's split from, originally there was one kind of music, I guess, throughout the whole country.
Yes, yes.
Which was kind of defined through the Vedic era, and it was, of course, it was continuously evolving as music always does. And in the northern part of India, it started mixing with these ideas from Persian music and Sufism and so on to form the Hindustani classical music that we are about to see today. Whereas it's interesting to note that the earlier form of music, which was there since the Vedic era, that is still being practiced in India as the Carnatic music, which is still practiced in south of India. So wonderful. Yes. So Shreyas, I think you have.
Yes. So we all heard about the history and how the music got enriched throughout the time since the history. So now let us go to appreciating the music. So before listening to the performance directly, I would like you to explain a bit about the basic elements that formulate this classical music. So I would like to start with swara, lay, and tal, which is the basic element, I would say, and then we can go to rag and bandish, so that we can tell people about the usual structure of the Hindustani classical performance.
Sure. So first is swar, and in Western music and in a simpler form, you call it notes. So notes, like what you use for Western music, in Hindi, Hindustani classical music, we use swar, that is notes. It's similar to that. So swar is that. Then about the tal. Tal is it's a melodic structure with the help of instruments which forms the tal, and it creates a life cycle. It is like a beat. It's a rhythm, which is a definite set into the definite beats will be 12, 16, 7, 10. It will be very different according to the bandish and according to the composition. So tal is like beats and a rhythmic cycle which every singer or every instrumentalist follows. That is known as tal. Then improvisation, as you say. Improvisation in Hindustani classical music is means by staying in the given rules of the rag and being in that square of rules, you express your own thoughts, your own expression about the melody, your own expression about what you feel about that rag. It is all about the feel, and it will be it differs to person. Like artist to artist, the expression will be very different. So through vocal and through instrumental renderings, you can feel the different kinds of feelings from for a same rag. Yeah. So that will be very different in Hindustani classical music. Then again, coming back to the basic structure, that is rag. What is rag basically? Rag is a melodic framework for improvisation and compositions. Okay. It's a framework of given notes. So rag can be very different every time, and the given notes are very different. So in just like the Western music, you are given the paper in front of you and you have to follow what is written there. So in rag also, we have a solid framework of 5 notes, 6 notes or 7 notes, but you have all the power to go and explore it beyond everything. You're not, you have all the freedom to explore all the notes, or variations can be done, but staying in that kind of a structure is very important. So staying in a structure is called as rag.
Okay.
And for that, then rags are having compositions. So compositions are mostly by like these days we sing like his very old compositions, which are coming to Hindustani classical music in a legacy.
Okay.
It is like a very important aspect that the composition is made by this legend, composition is made by that legend. So legendary compositions are there what we follow.
Just as an example, can you give which is one of the like oldest composition that you know of? So like how many years old, 100 years, 200 years, and so on?
So we all know about Miya Tansen.
Yes.
We all know about him, that he was in a court of a prince. And yeah. So Miya Tansen have composed so many rags as well, and the ragas compositions are even composed by him. So we do follow his compositions in Rag Todi, even in 𝐸𝐴𝐽𝐸. So
the original 𝐸𝐴𝐽𝐸 stands for Tansen, like the Malhar composed by Tansen.
Yeah,
it's called 𝐸𝐴𝐽𝐸 or 𝐸𝐴𝐽𝐸 Todi and so on. Okay,
yes,
wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, nice. So, and it is very surprising to see that even when we have a very limited framework of 5 to 6 varas, we still can have so much of variations and improvisations, each differently. Yeah, so maybe let's move to the demonstration right away. So first we would like to start with the Chota Khyal from the Raga Bhageshri. So can you explain about the rag, and if you know about the composition also, we would like to know. Yeah.
This raga is Rag Bhageshri is from evening time, like mostly later in the evening. So this rag is mostly very, very emotional and very intimate rag. So in this rag, I'm singing one bandish, which means, just give me 1 second, I'll tell you. So in this rag, the composition says Sham Ghana Chai. So Sham is Lord Krishna. So it is this is a situation which is being said in this bandish is Lord Krishna is in the middle of everyone, and everyone is praising him.
Okay.
And everyone is telling him how beautiful the rain is.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a situation of rainy season, and I'm performing that in next segment.
Okay. And would you also like to introduce to our accompanist who would be accompanying you for the percussion?
Yeah. Today with me, I'm having on tabla Shri Abhinay Kulkarni. He is a disciple of Shri Rajprasad Dharmadhikari ji and Talayogi Pandit Suresh Tarwarkar ji.
Okay.
And on harmonium today we have Abhinay Ravande. He is also from Pune, and he's a disciple of his father Shri Lakshmikant Ravande ji and Pandit Pramod Marathe. So these two talented artists also are joining in this conversation, I guess. So
great. So
these two are my accompanists.
Wonderful.
So we thank both of the accompanists for joining us today, and I would request Mukesh to play the first video.
na
Wow,
Beautiful performance. Amazing. Wow.
that was
Beautiful.
mesmerizing.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, congrats for that amazing performance, Sanika. I think everyone here must be spellbound listening to that composition.
Thank you so much.
So before moving on to the next topic, I was just trying to write down some things to maybe explain it more better to other people who don't really know about this kind of music. What Sanika sang is called Rag Bageshri. When we say Rag, it means a kind of a melodic structure. It comes from the word ranga actually. So Rag and Ranga means color. So it's like a musical personality. That's the best way to describe it, I think. But you can think of it as like a combination of notes within the octave. So in one octave you have like 12 notes. So there's rules for a raga, that which notes you can sing and which you cannot. And there are also rules on how you can go from one note to the other. So it's like 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12. That will be, say, Rag Yaman, for example. Now there are rules like you can't just sing 1 to 3. You have to go from like 12, so 11 to 3 and so on. So it's kind of like you have this structure and you have these rules. And then the artist has to use his or her creativity to form the most beautiful sounding phrases within that. For a tal, it is kind of like a structure with respect to the time, that there's kind of like a cycle that you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then 1. So this is like a rhythmic cycle of certain number of beats, and the singer or the performer has to play within that, following this temporal structure. Then we realized that there were like different segments of what Sanika sang. That it started with something which was very slow, where she sang by herself, which is called the alap section.
Right.
And then she started with a composition which is called as a bandish. Bandish comes from bandista or band or bandhana, which means like you compose. It's a composition in which the rag is set. And then that's when the tabla and the harmonium plays together with the artist. And the idea here is again to improvise, now that you have just the lyrics, which are kind of with a fixed melody, but the rest of it has to be improvised using this melodic structure. So whatever was fixed was maybe 2 lines in the whole composition, whereas the rest of it was something that Sanika was thinking and singing that. So if we ask her to sing the same rag and same composition again, it will be completely different because it depends on her mood at that time and everything. So this is a very unique part of Hindustani classical music. Which brings me to the next question, that like improvisation is something which is very unique. Can you, this doesn't exist in Western classical music, for example. Like for them,
Correct.
like you mentioned, that you have sheets of music which are kind of pre-composed and everyone follows that. So other than that, can you explain some similarities or differences between Hindustani classical music and Western classical music?
So basically, both the things are equivalently amazing in its own way, actually, because everything is having its own beauty to it. So in Hindustani classical music, the artist is having a lot of freedom to explore all the roads. So if, like what just we listened, that Bhageshri, you listen to the another artist sing, rendering the same rag, it will be, you know, completely different, and it can be completely something very personalized also. Improvisation, for me, I am giving answers through my experience and my study only. Here, improvisation for me is like is a reflection of who you are, actually. So it reflects in your music that what is your soul is, how well you express your feelings through music. So maybe some, you know, introverts can't speak that much well, but their music speaks a lot. It's just because the expression conveys to the music and the performance says a lot when the improvisation is going in the right direction. So this Hindustani classical music gives liberty to all the artists to, you know, express through music, and which is a very, very important and delicate aspect of Hindustani classical music, I feel, because that's where Indian classical music is different, and that's where Indian classical music is equivalent also. That rag will be same, but the expression of every artist is very different, and that's why we, even today also, when we are listening to all the legends like Vidushi Deshpande ji, or even for my like all the older artists also, like we go to their concerts, every time when they're singing the same rag also, the expression for the day is very different. So every time, if the same rag is being rendered, the expression and the feeling and the experience will be very different in Hindustani classical music. And same in Western music also, as you said, that sheets are there. Obviously, sheets are there. The composition is fixed. But, you know, the experience of that personalized artist is also very different. Sheets will be same, but the artist and who performs it will the feeling of that artist and how he takes that full composition and how he takes it to the stage and how it performs. It also this is a similarity I feel in Hindustani and Western, and the difference is the matter of theory. I feel that's the main difference is there. Like I'm not much studied about the Western aspect, but if you ask me, it will be very two different experiences if you go theoretical wise. But if you see it as an experience wise, it will be like very similar to each other in like performing wise, but it will be totally different when it comes to improvisations and exploring the compositions.
Okay, beautiful. I never thought about it this way because even in Western music, you do have the freedom to express the same composition in a different way. Even if you're playing the same notes, depending on how you emphasize it, it can change the whole atmosphere by itself. So this was something very new. Thinking about the technical aspects, I think, like you said, that there's differences, but from the artist's point of view, it's always an expression of emotions. So
yes,
as well, the tarana that she sang after the bandish, so that is something which kind of extends the classical music at a global level, because it the one which you sang, Tanana Derena. So there is no meaning for the words as such. So still it is open for interpretation. So every person would have his own interpretation of the same
Perfectly.
performance. So that, I would say, that is the aspect which makes it really global, as we have saying
Exactly, because
Vasudhaiva
it's a
Kutumbakam.
very
So yeah.
yeah, totally, because it's a very catchy rhythmic beat that
Yeah.
it is in a drut live, what we call. So drut, also every time when any artist is singing drut lay, it is like the catchy moment for the audience, just because they can connect to the rhythm very well. And here in Tarana, the words are not that meaningful, like Tana Derena, Tom, Tana Nana. These are the wordings of the Tarana, but the effect of that and the compositions are very, very unique in its own way. So I feel Tarana takes it to a global level.
Yes. So now, as we have heard a gist of the core Hindustani classical performance, let us go to the semi-classical art forms. So as this music has enriched within itself also, but it has also inspired many folk forms or the pre-existing forms in India or Indian subcontinent. So would you like to tell us briefly about what kind of semi-classical forms are there which have the more emphasis on the words and the meaning? So how
Yes.
classical music has inspired all of these forms?
So semi-classical, it's all in the word only, semi and classical. It is a part of classical, obviously, but there are certain minute particles which makes semi-classical different from the classical aspect, I feel. That is Thumri, Dadra, Natya Geet, Bhajan. So these are the legacies what Indian culture is having. Till today also, we hear in lot of temples that, certain disciples are sitting and just rendering the bhajans and just worshipping God. It is a very usual way in India that it's happening. In every way you will go, in Maharashtra, in Karnataka, and even in the south sides also, this is a tradition, like bhajan. We call it bhajan sampradaya. So bhajan is a legacy what Indian culture is having. So bhajan is basically the words will be worshipping God, and the tune will be very, very easy for all the people to just join in and sing.
Yeah.
It will be very easy tune to it. So we have lot of very very legendary saints in Indian culture, like Saint Tukaram, Saint Jnaneshwar, Saint Mirabai, then Saint Kabir. So this is a very huge legacy what we follow. This is about bhajans. Then Thumri. Then Thumri is the Thumri word came from Thumakna. Thumakna is it means like walk with a dance.
Yeah.
So it is this form is connected morely to dance and dramatic gestures and evocating love poetries. And according to the word Thumri, the composition will be also very delicate, very notorious, and it will be in a very different format that it will bring smile to your face automatically.
Yes.
So it is Thumri. Then Dadra. It came from Agra and Bundelkhand actually. And originally the Dadra, the word, is a tal.
Okay.
It's a Dadra tal. So these all compositions are set into tal Dadra. That's why it is called as Dadra form. So all these compositions are also mostly, singing poetry of Lord Krishna a lot.
Okay.
So Krishna was the main highlight here.
Yeah.
And all the compositions were made to, worship him, to, tell him how all the gopis are loving him. And, or maybe some situations like Makhan Chori, it's a very famous situation, like, or even, he's playing Holi
Yeah.
Holi is a very big
Holi.
festival.
Yes.
So Hori form is also a byproduct of Dadra.
Yeah.
So these all the little particles where it differs from classical in
Yes.
proper classical segment, where you can explore a lot and add a lot more of different emotions and different kind of expressions
Yeah.
to the composition, where words are very important.
Yes.
It
And
is all based on words.
Sure. And the beauty of this compositions, I would say, is that even though it is addressed to a god like a deity, it still has inclusion of all the different emotions. Like there is romance, there is devotion, there is everything. So it's really all in one package, I would say, where you have a melange of emotions. So,
very true.
Yeah.
And I think here the artist can have the liberty to like break the rag form and doesn't have to necessarily follow, right? That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yes,
so it doesn't have to
you can easily go into another rag also and come back to the main composition. That is the very easiest way to bring out the best emotions in semi-classical form.
Sure.
You have all the liberty.
So should we now go to a semi-classical performance of yours and try to see the one which is it's a bhajan, right? It's a Meera bhajan.
It's a Meera bhajan.
It's a devotional song which is by Saint Meerabai. She was originally from the current state of Rajasthan, and very beautiful, very emotional, and what we can say as a bhakti ras, so devotional song. Now let's listen to it.
Awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful. So there was this dialogue in this movie, Katyar Kaza Kusli, that there's a performance which, like after which you get like very excited and you have lots of things to say, and then there's performances where you don't have much to say because you just want to enjoy the feeling, the atmosphere that has been created. So thanks so much, Sanika, for this wonderful performance. So my next question was that in both classical and semi-classical forms, we have a lot of improvisation. So this is very difficult in general, right? Because you don't know what you're going to sing, you don't know what you're going to perform, and you have to kind of make it up while performing. So how is it taught? How do you learn how to improvise? And what is the process of learning this kind of music?
It is a very long process actually, and I am also in a very beginner in this process, I feel. So firstly, in system of learning classical music is like you follow your guru first. So your guru teaches you the ways first, and you start following those ways. So that ways will be according to your guru, and there'll be one stage in your process that you'll feel that now it's a time to find my own ways. And why taking all the learnings from guru, that is for obviously, because that is for sure that you're not leaving what the teachings are being like you have learned earlier. While taking that learnings, you're finding your own ways. And ways mean, I just can't express that very well, that
So there's like a discipline, I think, which your
it
guru
is a
teaches you.
very yeah, it is a very personalized process for every artist, I feel. So it is very very intimate to every student of Hindustani classical music, that you can't express what goes into your mind and what goes into your heart while improvising. You will just have the melody, you will have everything in front of you, and it is worldwide same. But your expression and your own thoughts for the rag will be very different. And that is what nobody can express very well, that what goes into that, because it is totally up to the day, it is up to the situations in your life, what is happening, what is not happening, anything, it can be anything, and it will be your expression about the certain things which will come out of music, I feel. And it is a very long process. It takes years and years to come into this process. And while learning for like 12 13 years now, I feel I just started with this process.
Wow.
So it's a very long way to go, I feel, because once you go into that process, the more and more wide doors are opening. So you feel like it's like a sea, and you are a very very tiny particle of it, that you have to explore everything. So it's a very very
So it's something that you keep learning throughout your life, I guess.
Yes. Every day is a learning process here. Some days you'll be very into the process, some days you'll be not into it also. But the days when you will be into it, it's the best version of any artist.
Wow, that's really nice statement, I would say. And Mukesh has said that yes, it's like science and the life of scientists. I mean, I'm not quite qualified to say that yet, but I would say that it's really a similar process as what we can have in PhD. So we try to learn how to do research, and then we start our own. So yeah, so let's move to the next of our performance, which is also another semi-classical bhajan, but it's not a bhajan. So it's a bhajan, but it's called as Nirguni Bhajan, right? So it's something which is an abstract form of devotional song, which is spiritual rather than being for a specific god, I would say. And Sant Kabir, who has composed these very abstract compositions, and as they are abstract, it's really difficult to compose them and convey the same emotion to people. So I would say that is the most wonderful and task which has done by Kumar Gandharva, who I mean, you need to have that much of wisdom by yourself to convey an abstract thing into composition. So would you like to say something about it before we play?
Definitely. So I grew up and in a musical family, as you all know, that when in a very early age I started listening to these kind of compositions. The abstractness of music was like very different zone for me, for years. And when I started when I took this form very seriously, like a profession and everything, I tried to sing that in a very amateur state, and still I'm an amateur in that kind of a zone where, I'm trying to convey the abstract thing with music and with words to audience. This was like, through my childhood, I was very amazed by this kind of a pattern of music. And so for that, I started listening to this more and more often. And the flavor of it is like something else. It takes you to another world, because, it is not very particular thing. That's why it's abstract.
Yeah.
It is totally what I say, it's a raw form of music, and it connects you directly to the heart. And the words are also not refined. The words here, like in this particular Nirguni, which I'm singing after this, is like a storyline.
Okay.
The Hirana Samajabujha Banacharana. So in this, Saint Kabir is telling Hiran, like a deer from a forest, to just, Kabir is telling that deer how to, be in this kind of a world with all the possibilities, with the references of the forest.
Oh, that's
So-
really
So
something.
it's a metaphor.
Yeah. It's a metaphor.
Using the deer and the forest for
Yeah,
us
so-
humans.
In this Nirguni particularly, Hirana Samajabuja Banacharana, Eka Banacharana, Duje Banacharana, Tije Bana, Paga Nahi Dharana. Like in life where you meet lot of good people also, but there would be somebody who can harm you. That he's telling that deer that you can eat in first forest, you will see. You can eat in second forest, you will see. But the third forest, you will see. Be very attentive there. Be very wise how to choose it and how not to choose it.
Okay.
So these are the metaphors for the life and for the Malwa language. It is based in Malwa language, and it is basically based in Devas.
Devas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madhya Pradesh. Yeah. So this is the origin of Nirguni, and I'm totally thankful that I'm introduced to all of these kinds of music in early of my age.
Definitely. And we are fortunate to have you here to get introduced to all of these different forms of the
exactly.
traditional music. So let's start with the Nirguni Bhajan. I request
Yes.
25 हिरनी हिरनी हो 5 हिरना 25 हिरनी हिरनी उनमें एक हो चतुर नार हिरना 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 तोय मार तेरो मास बिकावे बिकावे तोय मार तेरो मास बिकावे बिकावे तेरे खाल का तेरे खाल का हो तेरे खाल का करे गए बिछोना हिरना हिरना हो हिरना 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 हो कहे कबीरा जी हो कबीरा जी हो कहे कबीरा जी हो सुनो भाई साधो कहे कबीरा जी हो सुनो भाई साधो गुरु के चरण चीत धरना हिरना 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 समझ बूझ बन चरना हिरना 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 हिरना
Awesome.
Wow, really
Beautiful.
transcending performance. So now we are coming to the end of our session. So I have one last question for you before we move to audience question. So let's go to the future, I would say, and the present and the future about the classical music. So my question is that today, when we have so many overwhelming entertaining media all around us, what do you think as an artist that holds a so huge fan or let's say audience of Indian classical music, the towards the music which is very calm, which is very tranquilling, and sometimes people have opinion that it is not happening enough. So even despite of such things, how such a big audience is still dedicated towards the classical music, and what makes you to take this profession for like a full-time profession? And yeah, so.
A very nice question, I feel. Because today's scenario for Indian classical music is going very vast.
Yeah.
Like Indian classical music is having global reach now, and lot of people are attracted towards this form, because the most end feeling a person can get from this experience is utmost peace.
Yes.
So what we need in life or in all over the world is just peace and being happy. So I feel in future also, where I am seeing this thing going is like delivering a lot of happiness and peace to the audience a lot, and reaching places where it haven't even started. There are places in whole world where I feel this form should be like present everywhere, because it's such a like what kind of a heritage Indian classical music is having is nowhere present right now.
Yeah.
Like it is the most cultured form of music, and I feel everyone should at least know about it.
Yes.
And experience the utmost happiness and peace through classical music, I feel. And as per my journey in this process is, I feel it is a very tough job to take this as a full-time profession. Obviously, it needs a lot of patience, a lot of practice and faith.
Yes.
I feel. And you should have that kind of love for this kind of a form to pursue this. So I feel I have that love for this particular form, and that's why I'm continuing it and doing it in my own ways, learning every day, updating everything, like my music through what new ways this world has to teach me, taking all of it and trying my best to pursue this. And I appreciate a lot, like I'll tell to the youth now that this is a very very happening career option right now, because it's very in particular form to tell, it is very personalized experience every day, and you reach to very new audience every day. So it is like a learning process each and every single hour. When you're singing, when you're listening to any concert also, it is like a new experience every day. So I'll tell all the youth that to take up this as a profession also, but it needs lot of practice, lot of patience.
Sure, of course. Yeah, so the last question is what you would like to tell to our audience, how they should appreciate and how they should try to listen more and more towards the classical music.
So firstly, I'll tell the new audience to classical music, it's just to start with. Just Google it, or on YouTube, if you can just write Hindustani classical music, you will get lots of options. Just start listening to it first, and you will get into habit of listening first of all. And secondly, you should test your feelings when you're listening to it. That is the most important aspect in Hindustani classical. When you're listening to it, what do you feel about it?
Yes.
It is the most asked question. I must say that you should take something from the experience and you should use it in your own life to make it more happening, make it more beautiful, make it more peaceful. So I feel, and I urge to all the audience today here that just start listening first, and then you will get into habit of listening it, and then you will never leave it.
Sure.
Yeah, it's very, very addictive. I can vouch for that. I think Shreyas, you and I can start thinking of some some videos which are like shorter, which can, like, for the audience generally on the
Sure,
Yuva
sure.
group, we can kind of make a list of different videos to which we can
Definitely.
upload as something that our audience can listen to, and it's an acquired taste eventually. Like
Definitely.
you feel the beauty of Hindustani classical, but it's like the more you listen, the more you start understanding, and then the more you start appreciating
Yeah.
how amazing it is, and after a while you become addicted,
Yeah.
like some of us.
And as
So
Sanika rightly pointed out, that it's something that you have to relate with your own emotions. So it's like it's kind of like a mirror which it reflects your own emotions. So
yeah,
Exactly.
it's a very
that's
personal
the,
thing.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So we
Before going to the next performance, I think we have two small questions from the audience. We can take that, and then a very important thing, we need to take a selfie with everyone because there's almost 30 people around. So can I ask everyone to please switch on their camera so that you can take a quick picture, then go to the audience questions, and then go to the final performance. Everyone. Okay, I can see like 10, 10 people. Come on, rest of you guys. Videos on, quickly.
Express yourself. Thank you.
Okay. We have close to half the people here, I guess. Not mics. Sorry, I sent the wrong message. Videos on. Okay. Is anyone taking picture already?
Yep, I'm on it.
Okay, cool. We still have only half the people.
I guess the people are
People are
mesmerized by
shy.
the
People are,
performance.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Music over
Okay.
self.
Some people are also shy, it seems.
Understandable.
Anyway,
Okay, I think I
Alright.
can take one.
yeah. Okay.
All right, awesome.
Great.
So okay, there's another question. Nice. So the first question was by Shravan, who's asking that is the art more similar to blues and jazz in terms of improvisation than Western classical? Like in Western classical, everything is fixed, but in blues and jazz, you have some opportunity to improvise. So can Hindustani be compared with that? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that answer is it's for jazz and blues, it's very similar, because jazz and blues also have some scales, and for that, you have to stick to that scale and improvise, like what we do in Hindustani classical. So there is one scale in jazz called as Lydian, is very similar to Rag Yaman in Hindustani classical.
Okay.
So there are many such scales available, and people play it also. So it is very similar, and the question was very appropriate.
Okay, nice. I didn't know about this one. The second question is by our president. His question is, how does Autotune affect the authenticity of music of Indian music in today's time? Okay, very interesting question.
It affects any kind of music, I feel.
Okay.
Because
Sure.
The main motto of any artist is to sing very properly, first of all. And auto-tune is like, I feel it is making people very lazy.
Yeah, it is like cheating in a way.
Yeah,
Right.
it's cheating. Like
Yeah.
in an exam where, you know, you have book and you have exam paper also. So I feel auto-tune is ruining everything. In some parts, it is okay to use it. For like minute particles, it's okay if you use it in a definite kind of a proportion. But if you're using it for the entire performance, entire song and everything, it is ruining everything and any kind of a music, not just Hindustani classical, but every part of music, I feel.
The third question we have is something that we actually missed in our questions, and it's great that it has brought up that we mentioned about the idea of associating ragas with the time of the day. So how flexible it is, quite a good question. And what happens if they are meant to be sung during early hours of the day? So are they phasing out?
In some manner, yes, and some manner not. Because, you know, time, the rags are dependent on the samay chakra, what we call. Like from the sunrise to sunset, it is all set that in what prahar the rag will be there. But knowing now the situations about the concerts, that, you know, at 10 p.m. concerts are ending here. So when you'll be able to hear late night ragas or early morning ragas. So now the new people are taking this advantage to, you know, perform any rag at any time. And I feel that is okay, because you get to listen to new ragas. Because the definite times of concerts are mostly around 4 to 10. So you will get to hear only 2 prahars in it.
Right.
So it is a very limited options. So to you know, explore more, the new age singers are taking this liberty to sing late night ragas, early evening or morning. So for that matter, I would love to mention here, the early morning concerts are also missing these days. So we should, you know, take that thing also in our mind, that early morning concert should also come back, because we are missing on that ragas also.
Yeah. But
So,
I do remember that in Mumbai, like we have Ashtaprahar concert, or we sometimes have overnight concerts in which we can have those.
There are 2-3 organizations who are doing that particularly to hear morning melodies. But not all the organizations are doing that. So it is important to hear all the prahar ragas, and, you know, to have a lot of diversity in ragas as well. So it is very important, firstly, to sing in a prahar, and secondly, when you're not having that much of time, the liberty should be taken someday.
I think I had heard a small speech of Pula Deshpande, where he had said that it's like it's defined by the musicians that which rag should be sung at which prahar. Of course, it's not fixed that you can't sing one rag and another prahar and so on, but it's more about the things that have been fixed for a long time, and it's become tradition to sing those in those particular times. So just to give an example, if it's raining outside, you want to have chai and pakoda. Or if it's summer in Lausanne, then you want to go out and have a barbecue. So that kind of feeling, that you associate those certain times with that feeling or that activity. It's more of also like that. But if you like, can you do a barbecue during the winter? Yes, of course you can. So that's something.
Very true.
Definitely. Sagar, would you like to take the last question?
Yeah, absolutely. So our vice president has asked the next question. How is it that one raga can bring about so many emotions based on the rendition of a singer and an artist, and how do you bring that about? How do you master that? So how can just one rag be used to describe different feelings? I think that's the question.
As again, I'll say it's a long process, because in Indian classical music gives you that liberty to, dip into a lot of emotions and come out of it and express it. So on some days, you'll be feeling a lot more about that rag, and on some days you'll not be feeling more about that rag. But when you're feeling most about it, it is a art of your thinking process, how you think and how you express. So when you feel, the feel of the rag should come from your thinking process, that what goes and what goes behind that notes. It is not only basically about what notes, what rules you have. It is beyond all that. So you relate it to your situations in life. As I said earlier also, that if I'm singing this particular rag right now, so my feeling for today is very different. So you feel different on every day. Like you wake up and your feeling of the day is very different. You can't feel same about every day. It is just that. You can't feel the same about the rag every time. So that's why the different expressions come. So, and when there are a lot of artists, all the artists' days will be very different. So that's why the different emotion comes from a single rag. So I feel that is a very uniqueness of Indian classical, that it gives you liberty to experience all this.
So I think it kind of reflects what the performer is feeling at that point.
Yes, definitely.
And if someone is after many years or decades of devoting to this art, maybe it's possible to kind of make the audience feel whatever you want. It's kind of like a seasoned actor who can, say a dialogue and then everyone can start crying, and then immediately in the next few minutes he can make everyone laugh. So I think that comes more over time.
Yes,
but generally
it's a matter of discipline.
Yeah,
definitely. And next, I guess we will take this as a last question, because we have but this is a really good question. Does that mean the sound and vibrations can affect our mood, or is it the other way around? So Mukesh was saying, to me, it seems that music is much connected to the natural world.
Yes, it's definitely connected. And vibrations makes everything to a lot better experience, I feel. Can we just repeat the question? I just missed on the first part of the question.
Yeah, so it says that, does that mean the sound and the vibrations can affect our mood? Yeah. Yes. Or is it the other way, that even listening to some kind of, like if our mood is something, then does that affect even the raga that we are listening to? Maybe.
Both the things are right here. The mood, sound and the vibration. If you're sitting in a very holy place and you're listening to something, the experience will be very different. If you're sitting at your home and listening, then your experience will be very different. Or I must say, even listening to a particular rag in a particular time also makes a lot of difference. Like listening to Malhar in rainy season, or it makes a lot of different experience for a listener as well as for the performer also. Yes. So it is raining heavily outside and you're sitting and singing Malhar. It's a very different experience for an artist also to experience the real nature feeling and expressing it through your melody. It is also a different aspect. And secondly, the second question was also very right, that if you are in a very different mood and you're listening to some kind of a rag, it will definitely make a lot of different impact on audience.
Yes,
that is for sure.
And being in Switzerland, I guess we have to find out some rag for snowing also.
Oh yeah, true. Nice.
Okay. So
Mukesh is missing the Mumbai rains, so I'll send him a couple of videos of Mia Ke Malhar and Malhar. He should be fine.
It's raining here in December.
So
did you sing Malhar yesterday or something? Or?
No.
Let's come to the conclusion of our session now, and we would go for your last performance. So would you like to explain? So what we thought exactly to have this performance as the last is to know is for the people to get to know how to appreciate music, the Indian classical music, what forms are there, and now they can apply and listen to it. So this is the core classical performance of Bada Khyal, and we would urge all of you to try to express your own emotions while listening to this and try to relate it. So would you like to tell a bit about this rag, and then we can
Yeah.
go further?
Yes. So after this, I'll be singing Rag Gavati, in which the Bada Khyal is set into Tal Ek Tal. It is a Vilambit cycle of a rhythm where you get a lot more craft to explore. It is a very slow pace, and here you get what to just say. Just give me a second. Yeah. So you get like you heard in Rag Bageshri, that the craft was very small. The bandish, the composition was very small because it was set into teen tal, and that too a madhyalay. Madhyalay is a mid space where it is a very mid speed, and here in Bada Khyal the space is very elongated, where you get intervals after 4 beats. Like if the first bit is coming like 1, and then after 4 beats you will get the second beat. So it is that space you get to enjoy, and that space you get to perform as well. So what we say in Hindustani classical music, the between space of 2 beats are very important here. So the between space, how you fill it, how you express it, and how you make a complete full circle of your thoughts is very important in Bada Khyal. So Bada Khyal is a gist of Hindustani classical music, I feel, and it is the main part in Hindustani classical, where you get to connect to the artist on one-to-one, heart-to-heart. So I hope you all enjoy this experience, and as this Bada Khyal in Rag Gavati set into Vilambit Ek Tal, More Nandalal. So Rag Gavati.
Beautiful. Can I just add one small thing? Because like Shreyas and I know what you mean by Vilambit and how slow it is, but probably the audience would not understand, would not be able to appreciate without maybe telling them. So when she sang the previous compositions, you always sing in a rhythmic cycle of certain number of beats. It could be 7, 8, 10, 12, 16, anything. So earlier the speeds were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Now the speed is 1, 2, 3. That's slow.
Yeah.
And the whole composition is set to such a slow speed. And the idea here is always that when you finish the cycle, the first beat is of most importance, and that is where some of the lyrics of the song are set over there, that you have to come with those words on that beat at that exact point. So the idea is that you have a lot of time to improvise in between, and then at the end again you have to come back to the same word and to the same beat number, I guess.
Perfect.
Yes. Perfectly.
So,
Okay, so
Mukesh, I think we can have the last video.
So sit back and enjoy.
sa ga sa ma ga pa ma ga sa ma ga re sa ni sa mo re na da 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 ga ma pa ni sa re ni sa da ma pa mo re na da sa ni da pa ma pa mo re na da da ga ma da pa da ma pa ma ga re sa ni sa mo re na da la da ga ma pa ni sa re ni sa da ma pa sa da pa ma pa ga ma re sa ni sa tu ma ni mo pa ti da o da ra na pa ma ga ma pa ni sa ni da pa ma pa mo re ma ga re sa na da la da mo re na da la
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Wow.
I wanted to hear much more of this.
Wow.
Wonderful. Yeah, it is. Well, so just as Sagar said, once we start listening to it, we just get we just get attracted to it. And yeah, so over to you.
Right.
Wow.
We can maybe wait for Sanika to come back. Yeah, there she is. Sanika, once again, thanks so much for this amazing performance. Like I was like listening to it the whole time, and then it's sad that it stopped eventually, but we would have loved to hear much more of Ragavati. So I guess from all of us, a very heartfelt thanks that you agreed to come to our event and graced us with your beautiful singing and
Thank
the
you.
discussions. I guess everyone learned a lot today and also learned how to appreciate classical music, at least the beginning of it. And I hope that more people would eventually start listening to more things.
Thank you so much for coming up with a very unique concept first, and thank you so much for Yuva Indians to for all the support and for hosting this concert and inviting me to perform and talk today. So thank you so much to you and all the team members and all the audience also. Thank you so much for tuning in today and for your questions as well. So thank you so much.
I would like to pass on to Arvind now from Yuva to conclude our session.
I guess I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what to say first because I'm like in a spellbound state right now after that performance. But yeah, first of all, on the behalf of Yuva Indians, I would like to thank Her Excellency Sanika Kulkarni, Indian Ambassador of Switzerland, for graciously accepting our invitation and supporting the event. Next up, I would like to thank expert of today's workshop, Ms. Sanika Kulkarni, for her spellbound, amazing performance and an interactive session talking about the Hindustani classical music. I would like to thank Shreyas and Saga for being the wonderful host and basically getting us through the nuances of Hindustani classical music and entertaining us. Uh, Finally, the most important people, all the audiences who are present in the Zoom call and the ones who are watching on the Facebook Live page for joining us for this event. Do follow our UI Indians page on various social media platform. Stay tuned for the upcoming event in the same web series and other events which we're gonna do. Bye bye everyone. Have a nice day or a nice evening or a nice or whatever it is in whatever part of the world you're joining it. So that's it. Bye guys.
I would like to
Bye.
also add to it that thanks a lot for even the accompanists, Abhinay
Yes.
and
Absolutely,
Ashay, for
absolutely.
their wonderful accompaniment. So that's all
Thank
from
you so
us.
much.
Yeah. Okay.
So
See
I
you
guess
all.
that's all for today, and see you all in the next event, which will probably be in February. So yeah, have a good evening, good day, and
Bye bye.
bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Stay safe.
You all.